If you're a finger shooter where you actually use your fingers to draw back and let go of the bowstring, and you're looking to have a nice clean release, I've got a video for you today. Many archers are looking to have a cleaner release and end up focusing on the wrong thing, which makes the release look a little bit funky. And if this is you, I've got one for you today, and I'm going to show you how to clean that up real quick. Before I get into the video, if you're interested in grabbing any of the products I'm using in this video, or if you're looking for a good resource on how to clean up your archery technique, I will have links in the description below to all the gear I'm using, plus a book I'd recommend called Total Archery. It's written by my coach, Kaminski Lee, as well as an old teammate of mine, Tyler Benner. Okay, so what happened there in the intro is I was showing you the difference between what a really good clean release is versus what many people actually do when they're trying to clean up their release. This is actually a very good thing, which tells me that you're interested in making your technique better. You're trying to focus on things to clean things up and to make your release more proper, or actually your follow-through be more proper, more importantly. So basically, what's happening here in the correct type of release is you'll see the hand is coming straight off the string along the jawbone, straight back in a good solid follow-through. But so many people will focus on the hand itself and work on moving the hand correctly, and then they try to get more distance away from the actual face and will then bend the wrist and pull it further away from their neck, further away from their shoulder. So as they're following through, instead of everything being in one nice unit, they're making further distance between the head and the neck by bending the wrist. It's a very common thing that many people do when they're trying to clean up their release. They're actually trying to get more distance between where they were at anchor to where they are in follow through. And this wrist bending thing, I've seen many times amongst the students that I've been working on lately, where they go to follow through and they're just trying to get that extra distance. The right way to do it is to, when you come to full draw, picture or imagine everything from the shoulder to the humerus bone, the forearm, the wrist, and the hand, the back of the hand. Maybe not the fingers, because the fingers are then opening and letting go of the string, but everything else from the palm all the way up to the shoulder. Once you come to full draw, imagine making that one unit, one piece, as if you were to weld all the links of the chain, the kinetic chain of the arm when you're at full draw, into one unit, so that way when you follow through, it stays in one piece. What's going on in the correct way to do it, like I said, is everything is welded in one unit, one piece. Everything is one continuous motion, and all of it stays together through follow through. So instead of focusing on my hand itself, when I go to let go, when I shoot my arrows, I'm actually focusing on moving the back side of my shoulder, the posterior deltoid area, kind of where the tricep and posterior deltoid start to cross and touch each other, right in that area. I'm focusing on that spot here, moving around and behind me in an arcing fashion. So once I come to full draw, I weld all the links, I weld all the pieces together, and then I think move this spot back here around and behind me. So everything stays in one piece, move the shoulder around and behind me, continue going to follow through. Everything is in one piece. Once you start to think about the hand and start to think about cleaning up your release there, that's when you can start to do funny things like this, where things aren't moving correctly, and then the hand moves away from the face, you bend the wrist, you get this extra distance, and you just don't look like a seasoned archer. You look like somebody who is trying to do something. Like I said, it's a good thing. That means you're focusing on stuff, trying to make your technique better. But instead, think about the posterior deltoid, right where it kind of intersects with the tricep, that area. Move it around and behind you, everything in one piece, and then stay right there. And that way, the follow through is nice and smooth, nice and easy, everything's in one piece, and overall, it looks exactly how it should be, just like a seasoned archer or a professional archer does. Now, if I try to show you, like I said, I'll focus on my hand and not move my shoulder correctly, and I'll try to get that distance from my face with my hand, just like many other people do. And it just doesn't look right. It looks funny because I'm bending my wrist like that. I even have to check myself after I shoot the shot, because I've shot so many arrows the correct way with the correct focus that my body just wants to go to the automatic correct way, because that's what's been ingrained in my subconscious brain because I focused on it so much. And you will become that way too if you approach the shot, every single shot, with the intention of giving it focus to try to do things the correct way. It's really that simple. Yes, it's easy for me to say because I've done it the correct way. So how do you apply that? How do you fix it? How do you figure out how to do it correctly on your own? Well, you do what I'm doing right now. You can film yourself. And if you have a camera with a viewfinder or an iPhone where you're using the front-facing selfie camera, whatever, you can see what you're actually doing. And so what I can do is I can either shoot my shots and then go review the actual footage on the cameras, or I can use the cameras as a live viewfinder as if it's a mirror and coach myself through the movement itself. So if I'm looking at my iPhone because it's a much bigger screen, and I come to full draw, and I could do this with a stretch band, and I think about, okay, the hand being away from my face, okay, I can see my wrist bending as I'm following through, incorrect. Now think about everything being one piece. Once I come to full draw, I move that posterior deltoid area and, oh, it's still happening. So how do I, okay, and just, you kind of coach yourself. You look at, is my wrist bending more? Yes, it is. Okay, so 1 unit, there we go. That's how it should feel. Now I pick up my bow. Okay, I'm thinking about that feeling, how that feeling in the posterior deltoid feels, the retraction of the actual arm once I come to full draw, everything in one piece. Felt okay. The shot itself wasn't that great, but overall, okay, it felt, okay, yeah, it felt very similar to that. And then I come back and check myself again, all right, and then go shoot it again. So you can actually go back and forth from a mirror to your bow with, say, like a stretch band. You can stand in front of the actual mirror you're looking into and watch yourself follow through, potentially even using your reflection of your house that you're shooting next to in the mirror, or the window rather, something like that, to where you can get the feeling down of how the movement is when it's correct, because you don't know what it should feel like. You don't know what you should be thinking about, so you have to coach yourself by watching yourself in the mirror and seeing, okay, that's incorrect. Now that's correct. Okay, I can feel what that feels like. That feels very different. So now, like I said, again, you go back to, once you have that feeling down, because the movement is correct as you verified on yourself in the mirror, and now I do it again. And then I just work on making it more consistent and more repeatable, especially under pressure. That's when things start to get a bit more difficult, because you will revert back to old habits. But if you spend enough time with enough intention to fix this thing, weld the links of the chain, move in 1 unit by focusing on the posterior deltoid, or as my coach calls it, land 2, and move it in an arcing fashion around and behind you, keeping everything in one piece, your release will just clean itself up and you'll move correctly. You'll notice I didn't speak about the scapula, I didn't speak about muscles, none of that stuff other than where you should feel it on your arm, but I didn't say you should be activating those muscles, and I would urge you to not focus on the muscles at all. Focus on just the movement of the shoulder and move that around and behind you, and everything else will take care of itself. With intention, with focus, this will become your new default rather. This will be what you do automatically, especially when you're under pressure, which is the goal. You want to do your job. You want to make sure your form is consistent every single time, especially under pressure. If you're new here and you're just seeing this channel for the first time, if you wouldn't mind, please do hit that subscription button down below. I'm working on making this channel a great resource to all types of archers. I've got lots of information out there already from form and technique to equipment and technical stuff. A little bit on the mental side of archery as well, some strength and conditioning, and many, many other things, including gear reviews. Hey, if you like this video, consider sharing it. Genuinely, that helps this channel grow. I don't operate any other social media right now, and I rely on you to help spread the word about the channel. And please do hit that subscription button and the notification bell down below. And also, please check the links in the description for many different ways you can help support this channel. I produce all this content for archers around the world to enjoy for free. And I can't thank my supporters enough. I wouldn't be able to produce this content, at least not to this level, without you, so thank you.